A very good evening and welcome to Primetime News live here on Newsfirst. I'm Mahina Bongzo.
Good evening. I am Shahin Rampati. Let's start off the look at tonight's headlines.
Railway trade unions launch strike action. Passengers retaliate with protest opposite Fort Railway Station. Parliament adjourned prematurely yet again as MPs in list of speakers not present in chambers. Prime Minister informs Parliament fuel prices could rise due to US sanctions on Iran. Venerable Galagoda Tenyana Thera sentenced to 6 years rigorous imprisonment for contempt of court. Cabinet approves Chinese-funded homes for artists. Plans to build a museum to showcase Sri Lanka-China relations.
Several railway trade unions, including drivers and guards, launched a sudden strike action from 3 this evening. Trade unions say the strike action was launched due to an unresolved salary issue prevailing for a prolonged period, and the cabinet paper to solve the issue has been rejected. Passengers at the Fort Railway Station were severely inconvenienced by the sudden strike action this evening, prompting retaliation. This was the response the trade union representatives received from a restless group of commuters. The public expressed the following views opposite the Fort Railway Station.
මම ධම්මරුචිර හඳුර අම්බලම්බඩ මම කියන්නේ මේ බලධාරීන්ට ඒවා මෙන්න බලධාරියන් නෑ මෙතන කොහොමාරි මේ ගමනාගමන ඇමති හරි මේවට කරුණු සොයලා බලලා ඒ අදාළ කටයුතු ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන උන්ගේ කොන්ද දැන් අපි මොකද අපි දැන් බලන්න අපි මනුස්සයෙක් ඒ කට්ටිය එන්නේ නේ පොච්චලේ අපි නේ එන්නේ එනත් තමයි
Police headquarters said police personnel and the police special task force have been deployed to the Fort Railway Station. Our correspondents based in the area say the protest is continuing opposite the Fort railway station and the riot police had also arrived on the scene. In addition, heavy traffic was reported in the roads surrounding the Fort railway station and police have taken measures to clear the roads for vehicles to move. What you are currently witnessing right now are visuals from the Fort railway station. Those are, of course, live footage coming to us from the Fort railway station where railway trade union activists are on a protest. Police and riot police have been stationed around the Fort railway station. As you can see, this is footage coming out from the Fort railway station at the moment. The protest is continuing.
Also making headlines this evening, Venerable Galagodatte Gnanasara Thero was sentenced to 6 years of rigorous imprisonment by the Court of Appeal today on charges of contempt of court. The sentence was issued delivering the verdict on the case filed by the Attorney General.
Delivering the verdict, a bench comprising of Court of Appeal President Justice P. Padman Sirasena and Justice Shiran Gunaratna ordered Venerable Galagodatte Gnanasara Thero, who is receiving treatment at the Sri Jayawardhanapura Hospital, to be immediately taken into the custody of prison officials. The Attorney General has filed 4 charges against Thero. Court, who determined Venerable Galagodatte Gnanasara Thero guilty of all charges, sentenced Thero to 19 years in prison to be served in 6 years. The charges filed by the Attorney General against Venerable Galagodatte Gnanasara Thero are forcibly entering court on the 25th of January 2016, which was hearing the abduction and disappearance of journalist Pragit Eknaligoda, interfering in court proceedings, reprimanding the senior state counsel prosecuting the case, and contempt of court.
The President's Council filed an appeal to which we have been given time till the 29th of August. The Thero is currently receiving treatment for kidney-related illness at the Sri Jayawardhanapura Hospital. His health condition isn't good. Doctors said he may have to undergo surgery. We are ready to accept the court's verdict, but all Sri Lankans as well as the entire international community are watching to see the verdict on the ministers who claim the judges and the judiciary are corrupt.
Meanwhile, the Supreme Court decided today to hear the case filed by the Attorney General against Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayake on charges of contempt of court. The decision was made after Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayake pleaded not guilty of the charges in court. The Attorney General has filed 4 cases against the Deputy Minister. The Supreme Court ordered the Attorney General to present the list of witnesses to court in order to summon evidence pertaining to the case. The case was heard before a bench comprising of Chief Justice Priyasad Depp, Nalin Pereira and Prasanna Jayawardena. The case was postponed to the 5th of September.
I thank the court for concluding my case in a matter of 7 days rather than dragging Gotabya's case for 6 to 7 months. This is what we expect from the judiciary. I have never hidden presenting medical reports. I spoke on behalf of the voiceless and the poor people.
Following the conclusion of the hearing, Deputy Minister Ranjan Ramanayake, while leaving the court complex, met a Venerable Thero who attended the hearing of Venerable Galagodatte Gnanasara Thero.
මෙතන පොර පරිසරයක් කරලා ඔම අහිංසක විදියට පිනින්න ඕනේ නේද වන්දනාගේ ප්‍රශ්න අපි වල උඹලා බලයල මොකද දැන් අපි උඹලා මෙතන වැඩක් නෑ නයි වේරේන වේරාණි නහි වේරේන වේරාණි අපි අලුත් ගීත වචන බලන්න පායි කවදාවත් කිප්පිලා ගිහින් මේ කියන්නේ සර්ජරි කවදද දාන්න ऑपरेशन करना सीएल में इतने बड़ा
Meanwhile, the Court of Appeal issued notices today on Northern Province Chief Minister C.V. Vigneswaran and 2 other Northern Province ministers. The notices were issued on the trio to appear in court on the 7th of September and present facts on charges of contempt of court. The Court of Appeal earlier terminated the Gazette notification issued by Chief Minister C.V. Vigneswaran, removing Northern Provincial Minister B. Danishwaran from his portfolio of fisheries and transport. The Court of Appeal issued this order taking into consideration the petition refiled by Provincial Minister B. Danishwaran over the failure to comply with the court order.
A major and a corporal of the Sri Lanka Army was sentenced to death today by the Trincomalee High Court. They were found guilty of the charge filed for killing a LTTE suspect in Gurunagar, Jaffna in 1998 after taking him away for investigations.
The death sentence was given by Trincomalee High Court Judge M. Ilanselian. Indictments were filed at the High Court for taking away a suspect known as Gnanasingham Anton Gunasekaram from the Tirunelveli area located in the Jaffna Kopai police jurisdiction area on the 10th of September 1998 and beating him to death. Sri Lanka Army Major Dixon Rajamantri and Corporal Priyantha Rajakaruna were sentenced to death today. Another accused in the case, Lieutenant Colonel Tony Bartholomew, was acquitted and released from this case. Speaking to Newsfirst, military spokesperson Brigadier Sumit Tatapattu said if the 2 convicted servicemen filed an appeal and seek assistance for it, the Sri Lanka Army will provide assistance.
The Apartment Ownership Special Provisions Bill produced by Minister of Housing and Construction Sajith Premadasa and 3 other orders were passed in Parliament today without any amendments.
Under the Apartment Ownership Special Provisions Bill, a program will be implemented to provide title deeds to 7,477 families. That will provide great relief to those families and the construction sector. I wish to produce 3 separate orders that would strengthen the construction sector and ensure there is an efficient growth. This will greatly benefit in the creation of a qualitative construction sector and a qualitative construction system in the country. Under the Apartment Ownership Special Provisions Bill, we will be able to provide the freehold title deeds to 7,477 families very soon. This was an issue that was prevalent for the past few decades.
ඉතාමත්ම ඉක්මනින් ලබා දෙන්නට අපිට මේ විශේෂ විධිවිධාන පනත හරහා හැකියාව ලැබෙනවා කියන එක මම සතුටින් මතක් කරනවා. ගාල්ල කොටුව ඇතුලේ
A large number of historic buildings within the Galle Fort have been changed with no approval. The Archaeological Sites of National Importance Act says if there needs to be a change in buildings of over 100 years old, the permission of the Director General of Archaeology is required. At a time when we think of the apartment ownership, we must also think of the cultural aspect as well in qualitative construction.
The Minister is carrying out his task at the Ministry in a successful manner while listening to the proposals of the MPs. This has brought great relief to the people. The Ministry of Housing has managed to light the lamp of hope.
As the opposition MPs mentioned in the list, speakers for today's debate were not present in the chamber. The government MPs in today's list of speakers did not express their views. Therefore, the Deputy Speaker was compelled to adjourn sittings ahead of schedule. In addition, JVP parliamentarian Nihal Kalapatti, who was supposed to present the adjournment motion, was not present in the parliamentary chamber as well.
Various views are being expressed over the salaries awarded to parliamentarians and ministers, following our responses given to the media when questions were posed relating to the actual salaries of MPs and ministers.
My salary is 65,000 rupees. The tax is 67,500 rupees. If I was serving as an engineer, I would be earning a salary 10 times greater. I am facing a serious issue now. I have informed it to the Finance Ministry. I hope they will address it. 50% of the money I receive is the petrol and diesel allowance. That is around 150,000 rupees for a minister. Since I am a nationalist minister, I receive a greater amount. This is because I have to travel all over the country. The total will be around 350,000 rupees. The remainder is something that can be used by a single person to survive. A proposal was presented to increase the salary by 215%. The people in this country are facing serious difficulties. Some of the villagers cannot even afford a single meal. On the other hand, you have Gamperaliya and monitoring MPs have been appointed. Those MPs are to be given a staff of 7 people, 2 mobile phones, a car and several other benefits. The people are being told that the loans taken by the previous government must be repaid, and that is why these taxes are imposed. They bring bills on taxes and impose them. Most of the newspapers today reported that President Maithripala Sirisena had turned down a cabinet paper submitted by the Prime Minister seeking a vehicle, unlimited fuel, an office, a monthly allowance, a staff of 7, 2 mobile phones for UNP monitoring MPs. In addition, the President had reportedly rejected the cabinet paper put forward by Minister Malik Samaravikrama seeking to allow ministers to retain private lawyers at government expense in fundamental rights cases filed against them. No, there is no such thing. Such a cabinet paper was not rejected. It was postponed to the next week. A document with a recommendation prepared by 3 officers was produced for cabinet approval. Gamperallia is a massive development drive where a large sum of money is being used. As the burden of supervising this cannot be done alone by the divisional secretariats and their staff, a committee had proposed that the monitoring MPs be given staff and facilities to expedite the supervision process. There are several MPs who do not have ministerial positions. If they are being used for a respective process, it will be done by allocating them to respective areas. We have only a short period. This needs to be implemented in a proper manner. The officials do not function like that. If they are being used in this manner, we will have to provide them some other benefits. Gamperallia is not based in the ministries. It is based in the village. Every divisional secretariat will be assigned 200 million rupees. Do you want the money to be used for the people or to be recorded as minutes in the office books?
ගම්පෙරළිය වැඩසටහනට පළාත් පාලන ආයතන වලින් සහාය දෙයි කියලා ඔබතුමාලා
තමයි පළාත් එකකින්ද තමයි මුදල් වෙන් කරන්නේ ප්‍රාදේශීය ලේකම් කාර්යාලවලට.
Signs of change in water tariffs and fuel prices were showed in Parliament today. This was during the debate about the increase of taxes on small vehicles and several other topics.
The trade balance during the first 5 months of 2018 rose to 4,914 million rupees, which is an expansion of 17%. The central bank has identified this as one of the main reasons for the increase in the import duty of vehicles. With this tax revision, those who have opened letters of credit on or before the 1st of August 2018 have the chance of getting their vehicles cleared until the 31st of January 2019. If you can find out how many letters of credit have been issued during the last 3 or 4 months targeting this tax revision, you can figure out how the tax policy was changed for companies like Al Futan in Dubai. We believe you can find out something about that. I don't suspect that. At this moment, there is an incident that one side was given assistance. You speak of the impact of the deficit. There is 108% from vehicles and 12% from gold. So the greater impact is caused by gold. We have taken measures regarding gold. We witnessed that when gold was being imported and exported, a portion does not remain in the country. Money does not flow into the country. We are working in increase in foreign exchange. This decision was taken by considering the foreign exchange for the past 6 months. We are not sure of what would happen to the price of fuel since there are sanctions imposed on Iran. They could increase. If that is the case, we need to be prepared to face that. In addition, the tax war between the USA and China can impact us as well. We cannot be certain of the situation in the next few days. The US is to impose sanctions on fuel and we need to be prepared. There is a need to amend the water tariffs in the future. However, there will be no increase to the first 15 units used by the Samurdhi beneficiaries.
In more local news, Cabinet has approved 32 proposals which include the construction of houses for artists.
Cabinet approval has been given for the construction of houses for artists using Chinese funds. As per a request made by Speaker Kharu Jayasuriya, 108 houses will be constructed for these artists, and a museum depicting the historic relations between the two countries is to be constructed using Chinese funds. It was announced at the Cabinet media briefing today that the money will be a grant from China. Cabinet approval has been given to prepare a legal framework for the Sea Marshal service provided by the Sri Lanka Navy for international trade vessels. It is expected for the Sri Lanka Navy to regulate the transportation and storage of firearms and equipment used by private marine protection forces to protect merchant vessels from pirates. Cabinet has also approved the signing of an action group document relating to military technology cooperation between Sri Lanka and Russia. Cabinet has also approved the procurement of 1,000 eco-friendly buses for the SLTB, and this is expected to be done with a financial facility provided by the Hungarian Exim Bank. Under this project, 250 electric buses and 750 hybrid buses are to be obtained.
Newsfirst Azra Asan now joins us with the weather.
A very good evening to all our viewers. You're joining me, Azra Hassan, on Weather First. Let's now take a look at the weather forecast for the next few days. Strong winds can still be experienced across the island in coastal areas and in the central hills, especially in the northwestern, western, southern and southeastern parts of the island. If you take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow, showers can be experienced in Jaffna, Putlam, Kandy and in the Battigu districts. And on the day after tomorrow, showers will be experienced in Putlam, Colombo and Kandy districts. And on the 10th and the 11th of this month, many parts of the island will be experiencing showers and the southwestern part of the country will be cloudy. Let's now take a look at the weather forecast for Colombo for the next few days.
Thank you, Azra. Minister of Sports Faiza Mustafa says the country's sports law will be amended to appoint a committee comprising of retired judges for the election of sports clubs. The minister made this statement at a workshop organized with sports clubs.
My opinion is an independent mechanism is needed when holding elections for sports clubs. I intend to hand over the entire election process to an independent election committee. Top retired judges will be appointed to this committee. This committee's appeals are directed to the minister.
Well, those were, of course, the views expressed by Minister of Provincial Councils and Local Government and Minister of Sports Faiza Mustafa. Well, you see, ministers will come and go. Different policies will be introduced and eventually be faded away. But what is saddening is the fact that the state of sports in Sri Lanka, cricket in particular over the past couple of years, have been the same, in a dismal state of affairs. Now, given the statement made by Minister Faiza Mustafa that retired judges will be appointed to committees to control the elections from all the way from the beginning towards the end, draws some sort of confusion. It remains unclear. And also, you see, if you really look at it, the multiple yorkers and bouncers and so on and so forth, bowled by a bowler at a batsman may be troubling at times to rattle the batsman. However, given the current state of affairs, it appears that both the bowler and the batsman seem to be on the same team. So one could assume that both Faiza Mustafa and Tilanga Sumatipala, the former president of Sri Lanka Cricket, are on the same team, given the outcomes, given the recent situation surrounding Sri Lanka Cricket. See, if you look back at the series of events which have transpired surrounding Sri Lanka Cricket over the past couple of years, we have the greats of Roshan Mahanama, Kumar Sangakkara, Mahalaja Wardana, Aravind De Silva being called into Sri Lanka Cricket as consultants. Now, these couple of players submitted a report containing proposals for the benefit of the game. However, unfortunately, none of these proposals saw the light of day. Even Minister Navin Dissanayake, as Minister of Sports, took various multiple measures. He appointed committees and so on and so forth to eradicate, to rid the sports sector in Sri Lanka of fraud, corruption, so on and so forth. But yet again, none of these proposals, this report never saw the light of day. Even the sports associations in Sri Lanka, the Olympics, athletics, football, so on and so forth, have been waiting for the past 5 years for the sports law of this country to be amended. Nothing has happened. The question that we have to ask now, it begs the question, is this yet another chapter of an extended drama? Our plea is simple and basic for all Sri Lankans. Bring in new laws which will bring a full stop to money being circulated when it comes to sports elections, be it Sri Lanka cricket, football, so on and so forth. That is all we ask. I'm Shanji Rampati. It's back to Mahina Bongso at the main news studio.
Thank you very much, Shahin. Well, we're getting news from the Palakala International Stadium in Kandy, where the fourth one-day international between South Africa and Sri Lanka has been delayed due to rain. Well, that's a wrap from all of us here at the Newsfirst English News Desk. Thank you very much for joining us as always. I'm Mahina Bongso. Good night.